And we are live. Gentlemen, welcome back to the United Corner podcast. Just kidding, the Mecca of Banter podcast. But you're in for a treat of an episode, listeners, because you have myself, Henry Wind, and you have Connor Sadobri, the resident members of the United podcast. Both of us have been away from the pod for a couple of weeks because your boys have been busy just doing a bunch of shit, being dads, trying to run billion-dollar businesses, whatever, just all in a day's work. But we are here coming directly off of the heels of a 4-4 Manchester United Bournemouth result. We are going to talk Manchester United. We are going to talk Premier League. We're going to look at what to be expecting over the coming weeks with AFCON on the horizon. But let's just jump into it. Connor, how are you feeling today, first of all?
It's good to be back, man. I feel like, to be honest, it might be a good thing that it's just you and I, not just to talk United, but it's like whenever I come back from being out for so long and I've watched so much, it's like I have so many takes just like in the chamber that I want to get to. And now that it's just you and I might be able to actually get to half of them. But no, man, it's good to be here. I mean, obviously coming off a 4-4 draw, like it would have been a lot better for us to be sitting here after a win.
How convinced were you that we were going to win too after Cunha scored the fourth? I was like, here we go, bro.
That game done and dusted. I was like already started talking shit to Mecca. Like, you know what I mean? It was like I thought we were clear, but it's like I should always know better than that, especially this year, that it was not as easy as we thought it was going to be.
So. No, not as easy. And let's just jump straight into it. So obviously we played Bournemouth the game before AFCON, so we still have Mbeumo Mazraoui. Even though we didn't see him on the field, we had Ahmad. We had all of our guys, and I was feeling pretty confident going into the game. Oddly enough, Twitter today was like a fucking, I don't know, it was a field day about apparently Laurie Whitwell released to the public that we were going to play.
That's true. Why would you release that to the public?
Yeah, like
fan.
Yeah, so for those of you that aren't in the lore of Manchester United, Amram's played a 3-4-3 for ever. Like that's all he's played, and we've gotten relentless questions about like, will you ever switch the formation? And it's always been like a no. Today, Laurie Whitwell from The Athletic says, just kidding, we're going to play a 4-3-3 today and also during AFCON, which I was like, what the fuck? Like, it's just a funny thing to wake up to in the morning, and got me excited because I thought we would see Kobbie Mainoo start. Game comes and 3-4-3 is what we saw. Aiden Hebben holding down the center back position again. Lenny Yoro back into the lineup. We're still without De Ligt. We're still without Maguire. But everyone on the front, what is that, 7? Still the same. Some good goals. I thought that we were really dominant in the first half. I thought that we came out, we were electric. But just like you said, we should know better that we are going to concede at home, and we're going to concede in every single game that we play in -5.
It's like, who said it? It was, I can't remember if I was listening to somebody on YouTube afterwards or if it was actually the NBC guys with Tim Howard and them, but like, we've been winning the Premier League if we just played the top 30 minutes of the game ended. Like, it's like, I kid you not. It's like you watch this for the first 10 to 15 minutes with like, it was like chance after chance after chance on the front foot, great combination play, counter-attacking play, very solid defensively. Yoro, Heaven, and Luke Shaw all sliding in, Ahmad and Delo both getting forward. It's like we look like a polar opposite team than we do late in the first half. That
makes no sense.
It makes no sense, right? It's like, I guess like the positive of the fact is like we've said it over and over again after last season, like we needed attacking play, we needed chances, we needed goals. And it's like those are coming, but it's like then the moment that we concede, like the pressure of playing at home in Old Trafford is just like all of that momentum that was built from the first 30 minutes is deflated. Like it looks almost like genuinely two completely different teams once we concede. Like it happens consistently at home, more so than anywhere else at home. It's
Makes
like,
no
thank
sense
fuck that we held in the halftime record and like that we did not lose that game, even though we probably should have. But like that, I don't understand how a team can look that good and that fluid for 15 to 25 minutes and then all of a sudden just forget how to play soccer like again.
Yeah, and we were all over them too. It wasn't like we just got like a 1 or 2, shots on goal. We looked electric in those, opening minutes of the game. I thought the goals that we scored were more than deserving. Ahmad, so it was funny. I was I saw something that, Ahmad's like open header was a 9 xg, and someone quoted it and said the 0.01 is Darwin Nunez, which I thought was
Oh,
electric. I thought that was so funny. But Ahmad finally, I feel like over the last couple of games, is looking back to his last year self. Now, his decision making isn't perfect. He still sometimes holds onto the ball too long, just like Cunha does as well. But he's dangerous again. And especially with Mbumo, the last couple of games has been fluctuating in his production, if you will. Now he has scored and assisted a couple times, but it hasn't been the same that we saw through the first several games of the season. But Ahmad's looking like his previous self, which is good.
they figured out that link up play of Mbumo sliding on the inside and allowing Ahmad that space on the right to where it's like there was 2 or 3 times you noticed where it was like the left side center back for Bournemouth or the left back got caught sticking with Mbumo in the center, which just freed up that I
Yeah.
have to turn it off. I have
You turn off the notifications.
but then allowed Ahmad that space on the outside to essentially, come down and then get in dangerous positions and go one-on-one, and probably should have scored a couple more goals too, So there's
Yeah, if
good
we
and the
were
bad, but it's like, of course, they figured out, it's like and then they're gone for a month,
yeah,
which is
yeah.
the downside of it all. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone can really know what the lineup is going to look like over the next couple of weeks with AFCON, but Casemiro, such an interesting player. The fact that I think about this all the time. You and I were both good in the air. We were both like on the end of set pieces, both defensively, offensively in our day. In our day was quite a few years ago, but in our day, you and I were both dominant. Can't quite figure it out how the ball always lands on Casemiro's head. Always. Doesn't matter where he's lined up, doesn't matter where he is. And perhaps Bruno is like specifically picking him out, maybe. But like you and I know how it goes. Sometimes you make runs to the near post and it just doesn't go to the near post, even if you're aiming at the near post. His ability to find the ball in the air is absurd.
He's a magnet, and the funniest thing is like after the goal, or excuse me, before the goal, the ball hit him on the head. You know what I mean? He probably should have scored if it wasn't deflected out for another corner, and then he
Yeah,
floats back post, and sure, Petrovic probably should have saved it, but at the
right.
same time, it's like, dude, you gotta be in the right spot to put the ball on frame, and he consistently has found a way to do it.
Yeah, yeah, and not even that we're set piece FC, but we're scoring a lot of goals off set pieces.
He's a magnet. It's like one of those things, it's like, when we'll get to Kobbie Mainoo here in a little bit, but it's like wanting Kobbie Mainoo to play is also like it's no slight on Casemiro because he has been
Totally, totally.
fantastic. Like he's been really, really good.
Yeah. Yeah, you bring up an interesting point. So Casemiro gets subbed off. I forgot the specific minute, but something like the 59th, 58th, maybe even earlier than that. Like, he picks up a yellow card, which you and I were both screaming that he should have fouled him 30 yards before he did.
Directly leads to the goal.
Yeah, Bournemouth were on a counterattack. He knows he doesn't have the legs to keep up, and he has the opportunity to bring him down like right then and there, as did other people, by the way. But he instead chose to foul him right outside the box, which leads to a goal, like you said. And then we see a substitution pretty immediately after that for Casemiro for Kobbie Mainoo, which we all want to see. We'll talk about his cameo here, but it is interesting. I feel like United all the time, whenever we make a substitution, it actually to me doesn't even matter who's the starting 11. It could be any version of our team. But as soon as we make a substitution, we kind of turn off mentally. It's the weirdest thing. We're so susceptible to goals, and it doesn't matter who you bring on, doesn't matter who you take off. And part of me, the Casemiro for Mainoo sub was great. Like I was like, let's do that. That's awesome. I wish it was someone else because we also transitioned. We did go to a back four in the game. I wish that we brought off, Aiden Heaven or Lenny Yoro for Kobbie Mainoo and played with the midfield three with Bruno and Casemiro. Now, did Amram think that maybe Casemiro was going to get a second yellow? Potentially. That's always in his locker. But we did get to see Kobbie Mainoo. What did you make of his performance today from the Mr. Kobbie Mainoo Stan himself?
Dude, it was like it and I wish I could like relay my texts like through the screen right now because it was like, dude, it was 2 minutes and it like literally was the shuffle touch around a defender. It
Yeah.
was like, yep, got it.
Yeah.
Still got it. Like
Yeah.
never left. You know what I mean?
Best midfielder.
Well, he's just one of those players that it's like, and Griff and I were talking about that. I think I might be quoting Paul Scholes that he said on the overlap a while ago, but it's like if Kobbie Mainoo played for Crystal Palace right now, Like, he'd be number 1 on Man
Oh
United's, like,
yeah.
short list of players to go buy, to build
Nicky Butt
around.
said that. Yeah.
Yeah, Nicky Butt, to like, so that, like, that's the thing for me, it's like, and I'm not even saying, like, sit Casemiro or sit Bruno, it's like, I'm gonna go on a Bruno rant here after I finish this, but it's like, slide Bruno up, make a sacrifice for Kobbie Mainoo, because in my opinion, he's worth it. Like, and now, like, you and I were texting back and forth, it's going to have to happen with Mbeumo gone, Bruno can slide up and play, and then there's one less player to play those 10 roles, but it's like, play Kobbie directly next to Casemiro, and you get a more athletic player that you're considering not like for like to Bruno Fernandes, but the reasoning behind why Emre hasn't been playing is because he's too much like Bruno Fernandes. He doesn't trust that they can play together. You know what I mean? So it's like a lot of it doesn't make sense. And the more cameos that you see from the guy, it's like you see Fabrizio tweeting day after day. It's like more than 10 plus teams are in for Kobbie Mainoo for loan in January. It's like, no shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, he's as young as he is, he's as class as he is, and, like, sure, things may change when Cassie leaves or whatever, but at the same time, like, he's a match winner. Like, he is. As much as Casemiro is, as much as Bruno Fernandes is, it's like you find a way to put your best players on the field. And it's like, don't start Mount, don't start Cunha, playing boot, you know what I mean? Make it work. Change formations and shift to make it work for your best players. And I'm not saying always play back 4, I'm not saying play back 3. Be fluid with who you're playing against. But like when you have a player like him that is being underutilized and he steps on the field and it takes 10 minutes of a cameo for everybody on Twitter I see, like myself, to be like, how is this guy not playing week in and week out? It's like something has to change a little bit, in my opinion.
Yeah, and the formation thing is a great point because I'm also not a guy that's like you have to play a 4-3-3 or a 4-4-2 or a 5-3-2 or whatever it is. Like
Just
play
win.
whatever you want. But yeah, just win the game because same thing can be true here. Like for me, when I right now looking at Cunha and Mbeumo and Mount, I don't want to drop any of those guys. I think those guys have been fantastic. I think they've been really, really, really good. So what's the risk in shifting to a back 4 to get Mainoo on the field? Like you don't want to drop any of those front 3. And here's the part that's going to be a really interesting conversation is what happens next week when we play, what is it, Villa that we play next? So we don't.
It was won 9 of their last 9.
Yeah, so they're electric right now. So to me, there's no Mbeumo, there's no Ahmad, there's no Mazraoui, and there's no Casemiro because of yellow card suspension. Perfect opportunity, to bring in Mainoo, push Bruno up. But like, if I were a betting man, I'm not saying I am, but if I were a betting man, I would say we're going to see a Sesko, Cunha, and Mount front 3, and then Bruno and fucking Ugarte in the middle because Amram's probably going to be worried about Aston Villa, probably going to be worried about the attacking threat that they have, and he's not going to see Mainoo as that guy, which is just ridiculous in my opinion.
The underrated thing that we haven't mentioned about this game too is just like Aiden Heaven, I think, has a lot of very good qualities, but it's like when you have him next to Euro, you could tell the lapse in communication, the not
Totally. Yeah.
and like Delit, of course we missed, but I even think Maguire. Like you put Maguire in that center role, and it drastically changes the experience of a back 3 to organize, especially when there are those gaps. So it's like, again, I said in the text, Heaven, great on the ball, like fantastic at sliding out, finding a pass, good at winning headers, but it was like those 2 or 3 times where he didn't communicate to Licha on the 4th goal, right? He didn't communicate to Yora a couple times, even when it didn't cost us. So it's like not having,
and even Semenyo's goal too. Mount was tracking him back, and you can see like in the replay, Mount's like trying to yell at Heaven. And like, I hope that anyone listening to this podcast like goes back and watches these goals that we gave up from strictly like a defensive positioning perspective, because it's like, and if there's any young listeners on here, which like I don't know why there would be, but if there's any like high school, college age kids that are like playing footy and they're like a defender, this is the stuff that we're talking about. So on Semenyo's goal, Mason Mount gets beat for legs and he's trying to call Heaven to slide over. And I understand why Heaven did what he did. There was 2 guys kind of at the back post, and yes, we had Yoro at the back post. Heaven was trying to take away one of those options. The thought process is you give Lamens the shot, you take away the 2 passes. I understand it entirely, but when you have to make a judgment call right then in that moment, and he just made the wrong one. Like, you got to take away the most dangerous thing, and the most dangerous thing is a close range shot. And equally so, the goal that you were just talking about with Licha on the 4th goal, I think Leach got that one wrong too. Like, I think Lisandro Martinez should have closed him down a little bit closer because he was caught in between the two, center backs.
And Waj should have just won the ball. Like, he should
Yeah.
was to win a tackle.
And that's like these little moments that, like, as a defender, regardless of what position you actually play on the field, on the defensive side of the ball, you have to be excellent all the time. You can't actually go into a half-hearted challenge, especially around your goal in that situation. Now, granted, we did concede from a set piece just a little bit earlier. You'd rather give up a set piece right then and there than let the guy kind of walk through like he did. Like, you just have to have that like grit and that meanness, for lack of better terms, in it. Did you feel at all hard done at halftime? There was the Semenyo choke on Delo, and then there's also the Alex Scott handball inside the box in stoppage time of the first half. Did you feel did you feel any particular way at the halftime whistle?
It's like one of those things where it's like, at the halftime, I truthfully thought we were gonna go on to win the game. So it's like, I don't necessarily feel hard done by. You know what I mean? But then after the fact, it's like, you realize that if it happens to us, it's 99% a red. You know what I mean? So it's like,
If his name was Casemiro, that would have been a
yeah,
red. Yeah, bro.
yeah.
I believe that as well. Before we get to Bruno, because I know that you want to talk Bruno. What do you make of Seshko's performance? It was a little bit interesting. I have like definite pros and I have definite cons in his performance back from injury. What do you make of it?
Shouldn't take more than 4 touches at a time, let alone 3. He was decent in link-up play, and one of the reasons that we ended up scoring one of the goals. I also feel like that's a game for him where it's like, not that he's not built for it, but it's like, that was so end-to-end to where it was like, every time he found the ball at his feet, like, we watched him dribble, he picked the ball up on our own half. And you know what I mean? And then you know what I mean? But that's where he received the ball, right? So it's like, there's a game, I get it, you gotta bring on a goal scorer to try to go and chase the game, and we got one back, and it's like, I even think there were 2 or 3 times too where it's like Bruno played that whipping ball across the front where it's like, you're 9. Anticipate that ball's gonna go there, lay your body on the line, try to get a piece on it. And one other time that happened too with him, but it's also just like, the jury's still out on him. He's just fresh back from a serious injury, but it's like, I think we just have to understand who he is and play to his strengths, right? He's not a guy that's gonna take 3 guys on and slip somebody in, right? It's like 1 and 2 touch, lay it off, play somebody in, get in the box, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
combine again. So
I agree with you that, like, if you can limit the amount of touches he takes, the better he gets. But it's also interesting because he also has like a pretty high degree of technical skill when he wants to. Like, he
but
kind of has that, like,
he gets the ball down to his feet with someone on his back, he's great at 1 and 2 touch, getting out of pressure and,
yeah,
like, finding it versus dribbling in the opposite direction,
right.
towards goal.
We had one fast break ball shifted out right to Ahmad, and Šeško was defending a set piece, and you saw him sprint, and he was outpacing everyone.
Yeah.
And I was hoping that Ahmad was just going to like slip him a ball in just for him to run onto. I would have loved to see that. But one thing that I do want to give him flowers for was on our 4th goal. Now, he tried to cross it all the way out wide. There was kind of a defensive mistake, which led the ball falling to Cunha. To me, he showed a lot of confidence in that moment to kind of take the ball off of Mbumo's foot. He was decisive. He knew what he wanted to do. He knew the pass that he wanted to make. That, for me, I was like, hell yeah, that was good. He's making more happen than Gyökeres is over at Arsenal, so I'll take that all day long.
They're not saying much, to be fair.
Not saying much. So is Casemiro. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Delo, pretty good game. Caught with his pants down 36 seconds into the half, goes down holding his face and they score. But that's that. But other than that, I feel like he's had a pretty good stretch of games. He's a nailed on starter for the next couple of weeks, especially with the mod out. Let's talk Bruno, though. What's on your mind? What's on your heart with Bruno Fernandes?
It's the same thing that's always been on my mind with Bruno Fernandes. He's just, and again, people are going to think it's the United soapbox, and of course part of it is, but like, people also don't realize like what, like, I feel like it just goes under the radar that he's just like playing as a number 6.
Totally.
You know what I mean? Like, he's playing as a holding midfielder next to Casemiro with 3 people in front of him. I'm sure he's more advanced, but it's like, he's got his 7th assist of the season today. He now leads the Premier League. He's only behind Erling Haaland for goals and assists combined in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Like,
His free
And
kick, by the way, was like one of the best free kicks I've
I
ever
mean,
seen.
yeah, it's like he has the most chances created in the Premier League. It's like he's only one like, he's second in assists in the world behind Elise, and it's like he's playing the same position as Declan Rice. You know what I mean? Like, he's playing as a deep lying number 8 box to box player that is like he's got a goal and assist in his last 9 games, let alone that you look at the free kick today, the assist to Casemiro. It's just like I know that it's like I'm a United fan, so it's coming from me, but it's like he needs to be respected and put in the level that he deserves. Like he's a world class midfielder,
He
like
is.
no doubt about it. He doesn't deserve to be lumped in with the shitty ass Man United team that we've had the last couple of years. Like he truthfully doesn't. He deserves to be winning prems. He deserves to be playing it deep in the Champions League because it's like, and again, he did. I was the first to be critical. He had a slow start to the season, learning a new role. But it's like he learned the new role and then also became the best midfielder in the league at a new role, like bar none. So it's like he needs the credit, in my opinion, that he deserves as one of the, if not the best midfielder in the Prem in on earth at the moment, because he is just genuinely that good.
What I can't understand though is like I agree. By the way, I agree that he's had to
It's like you know what? He doesn't just do it for us. It's like he does it
yeah, well, totally, and like so
for
he had
the team when he's on the field.
yeah
Like
he has he has limitations, right? Like he's not
sure,
always the most
for
defensive,
sure.
whatever. But like same but different when you talk about Kobbie Mainoo. Why would you not play a system or do what you can to put your best players in the best positions possible to go and win the game? It's like Bruno. Also today, last game against who did we play? Wolves last game, and maybe the game before that, but for sure the last 2 games. We're finally seeing Bruno make runs from deep,
Yeah.
like advancing past the 9, which he did so well or has done so well for the last 5-6 years. But it like this year, he hasn't been doing it until the last 2 games. Do it more. Like go and make those runs. And again, I don't want to necessarily bench Casemiro, but one of the things that bringing Kobbie Mainoo into the 11 does is Kobbie will receive the ball off the back line and he'll drop super deep. And he's comfortable with doing that early in the game. Lenny Yoro kind of like had the ball in kind of a tight space, and he looked to play the ball into Casemiro's feet, kind of at the top of the box. And all Casemiro needed to do was
Yeah,
kind
I
of like
remember that.
settle it and
I
turn,
remember that.
which
Yeah.
is like, as a center midfielder, you have to be able to make that play. And Casemiro almost shit himself, and we almost gave up, whatever. Kobbie Mainoo allows you to do that, which does allow Bruno to push a little bit higher and make those runs. And Bruno has to like pick and choose his moments, But I do hope that we see more of that. And it makes perfectly logical sense if we're playing a midfield 3 to have Bruno as that number 10 position and let him make those runs. Or if we're sticking to this 3-4-3, what's the harm in putting Mount, as one of the 8s, put, Mainoo and Mount as those two like industrial, because also, by the way, we're talking about different tangent here. We're talking about potentially signing Conor Gallagher on loan in January from Atletico Madrid. Conor Gallagher, Mason Mount, kind of similar profiles, and I don't want to get roasted in the fucking comments about that.
Yeah.
Yes, Conor Gallagher has more defensive actions than Mason Mount. I know that. But both of them, they're like known for their legs, setting up goal scoring actions, and both of them can hit a shot like pretty good from set pieces. Just play Mount in one of those roles. Push Bruno up, and Mount can press higher. I get all that. There's different tactics, but I just feel like, if it is true that if what Laurie Whitwell was saying is true, perhaps we should see Kobbie Mainoo in that starting 11 and push Bruno higher so he can make those deep runs.
He's got to find a way. And it's like one of those, it's like, dude, you get paid to be the Manchester United manager to make tough calls.
Totally.
Like, you need to leave somebody out, one of your 2 number 10s, in order to put your player with the most output, probably the most creative player at the number 10 role in the league in the position that he should be playing.
Yes.
Like, that to me is 100% like, at least try.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
At
Because if we were to
at
look,
least try. If for whatever reason you show me Kobbie Mainoo and Casemiro and it doesn't work with Bruno Fernandes at the 10, all right. I'm sorry. You're the coach. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that's why you're the coach and not me. But
Yeah.
try. Like, just give it a shot.
Yeah. Ruben Amorim early in the season made a comment saying the previous manager changed his philosophy the moment that things started going wrong, and that's why he's no longer in a role. And all you all, speaking about like the media and the fans, wanted was like a coach with an identity. Now you have a coach with an identity, and all you want is tactical flexibility. So there's that. Um, but I agree with you. Just try, bro. Just try to put your best
Did
players
you,
on,
did
and
you see
the hell
Made
of it is.
Brother?
What do you say?
I don't know if I'll be able to share my screen,
Love
but
Island? You can
no,
share your screen. You can do that.
I think it's a my work computer rule more than it is
Damn.
anything. But it's his brother had a shirt that said "Free Kobbie Mainoo."
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's telling. If you
So
were to predict the future, what happens with Kobe in January?
I think that, and what I'm hoping is, I mean, he's gonna have to he's gonna have to play next game
Mhm.
against Villa. Like he's gonna have to. I
You could always
truthfully
start
think
Ugarte.
that that's fireable in and of itself. I have the jersey somewhere.
Shout out Andy Hoover, by the way.
Yeah.
So Andy Hoover texted us before the game and said, "I'm gonna take what do you say the second half money line for
Bournemouth.
Bournemouth because you're gonna bring Ugarte on and then you're gonna concede a goal." Which I was like, "Fuck," but also true.
So I think it's just like, truthfully, I think I'm hoping that Amram gives a chance, whether that be at the, midfield three, a back four, a 4-3-3, or he just lets Kobe play one of the two sixes, that it's like, and I think he can do this, that he can play so well that he becomes undroppable no matter who's in the
Yeah,
lineup. I think that I mean, we watched him do that quite literally in an England team in a Euros.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
During the tournament.
he started off coming as a sub, right? The more that he played, it was like he's undroppable.
Yep,
Like he's just undroppable. So
yep.
like I'm hoping that he can come and be that player over the next, 3.5 weeks or whatever it is. But at the same time, who am I to blame him if he doesn't play? Like he went from being one of the first names on the team sheet for England in a European final to where it's like the guy wants to go to the World Cup and probably should be going to the World Cup for England,
Percent.
right? He's
Yeah,
being passed over by guys who are good, but I think he's more
bro.
talented.
Alex Scott got a call up this last round, like, and he's
It's strictly because
buns, bro.
Kobe's not playing, right? But it's
Yeah,
like, and I was listening to something about this. It was like the guys have, barring injury, like a lot of their locks for the World Cup probably set in stone, right? There
hmm
may be the outside guys that can play themselves in or not. So it's like he's either play now or you're like 4 years, and then who knows at that time what, you know what I mean? So it's like I don't blame him one bit for if he wants
I
to
don't
leave,
I don't blame
go
him
on
either.
loan, and yeah.
Yeah, my guess is he'll be here all the way through AFCON because AFCON kind of like ends in the middle of January, and
Yeah,
so my
yeah.
guess is he'll be here all the way through that, and then he might already have an agreement with the club that like be here through AFCON because we literally don't have the resources to like field a team. And then afterwards you can go out on loan. That's my guess is what's going to happen.
Dude, these stats just I keep seeing as they keep rolling on my screen, it's like, not that it means anything, right? But most XT created this year, us. Second most goals scored in the Premier League behind Manchester City. So it's like
Yeah. Yeah. And
what we asked for. That's what we asked for. We asked for
yeah, more
fucking
goals.
goals.
Yeah.
We didn't
More
ask for
goals.
4-4 stress, like
Yeah.
almost heart attack.
Yeah. And it'll come. And whether it comes with Amram as the manager or another manager, whatever it is, we say all of this and we're still sitting in sixth, which last year we would have prayed for times like this. But
Dude, some of the fluid moments today too, going forward
yeah,
between like with the false nine of Cunha and
hmm
Mount and Bruno, dude.
totally.
It's
Totally.
like
Yeah. And it's there, like, but I think it presents different sets of challenges where it's like you want Cassie in there, like on set pieces. But when you have those fluid plays that build up, you want Mainoo in there to be doing
right.
that all the while. Drop Aiden Heaven or Lenny Yoro, like
That's why
whatever.
you
We haven't even said his name yet. Luke Shaw was great today. He had some really, really big defensive clearances. He anticipated stuff really well. We also saw him make a penetrating run forward, which was great. If he stays in that left back position, I'm curious what it looks like going forward. Today was the first time we've gotten to see him in a left back role in a really long time. He played center back for the majority of the season,
yeah.
but we'll see. I thought Leacha came on and like didn't get on the ball at all, which is normally what we like out of him, but he literally wasn't.
I think eventually, again, Luke Shaw's been really good. So
Yeah,
it's like,
totally. Totally.
I think you see a more completely to performance when he does start from the beginning of the game. Like, he gets into the g like, he's not coming into, like, a hectic,
Yeah.
you know what I
I
mean?
wouldn't be surprised if we see that against Villa because we don't know what's
Dude,
going on with De Ligt or Harry Maguire. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Luke
I
Shaw
would
as the left wing back.
dude, shoulda dropped into literally shoulda dropped into a back four and gone Luke Shaw left side of the center back, Lenny Yoro right side, like, Dorgu and Delo and just called it.
Yeah.
Like, but I don't know.
We move, I guess, you know?
Sure.
We move on to
Here,
the next one.
if we didn't have all these ties, dude, I was telling Griffiths last night, you look at, like, Everton, a bad loss, West Ham, this, like, games that, like, we should see out and win. Like, dude, we're top 2.
Yeah.
Like, that's 9 points right there that, like,
Yeah.
are dropped, and that's not even counting more.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, like, and this is just more so like I'm interested. I don't know if the listeners will be interested, but depending on who you listen to on YouTube or what you read on Twitter, it's like you can get the extremes of anything. Like you can get the extremes that are like the Amarim inners that are like, can't you see the production and like how much we've improved since last year? And like we were 16th at this time and we scored 0 goals. And here we are, we're making all this progress. And the guys that are like, oh, the system made Ahmad miss that chance, whatever it was. So there's that. But then you also have the guys who are on the opposite side of like the system doesn't work. Amarim's not the right guy. We keep dropping points that we should be winning, which are, whatever, and you see all of that. And I have to admit that, yeah, I can be tainted on like what I feel, what I see, what I think. And so I've been trying over the last couple of weeks, especially after results where I'm like, okay, we got a point, not, we should have won, but we got a point like today. I've been trying not to get on social media right away because I want to like have my own opinion and my own thought and my own whatever. What is your honest assessment of the season so far? Like, are you pleased or do you feel good with it? Like if you were given reins, is Amarim still your guy? Like right now, like how is Connor Dobry feeling about the season?
I think overall, it's, like, disappointed, but I mean disappointed in a better way than I thought it was gonna be, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, like, I think disappointed in the fact that, like, the improvements we wanted to see going forward, scoring goals, like, all of that, it's like, check every box, right? It's like, going forward, we are a much better team, like, we are scoring more we're scoring at will. I feel like we can score against anybody on any given day, we will create chances, but at the same time, it's like, I feel like the mentality has not necessarily shifted, which is why you see us give up late goals, give up leads, tie games we shouldn't tie. So it's like, on one hand, it's like we're sitting, what, 2 points off of 4th behind Chelsea. What is it, 3 or 4 behind Villa, 3 or 4 behind Villa, who's in 3rd. And so we're sitting in a place right now where it's like, if you would ask me before the season, I'd be like, "Yeah." You know what I mean? Like, I I
Hmm.
I would take that right now based off where we finished last year. But I also think it's like the disappointing side is it's like, it's kind of the realization of you can't directly go from 0 to, not like trying to be cheesy, but 0 to 100 to be competing for a title. I think the frustration is like we've had those chances in games that we probably should win that would put us comfortably in the top 4, which is why it's disappointing. So I will say I don't think Amarim has his full team yet. I think we need wing backs. I think we need another 6, right? Maybe another 9, depending on what you do with Xerxes. So it's like I don't think he has his full team yet, and I do think we're seeing improvements from last year. But at the same time, it's like you're saying, it's like the instant overreaction of what's happening now. It's like we've been doing it so long, so that's where the over frustration comes in, if it makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. I actually feel like sixth is a pretty accurate
Yeah, 100%.
like where we are at the moment. And we definitely have the ability to be higher than that. Like again, if we've like taken chances, if we've converted our XG, like whatever it is, like we'd be way higher in the league. And mentally we're not there. So it's like sixth is probably pretty accurate going into, this AFCON situation. It's probably pretty accurate of where we should be. I think it's just frustrating that like the rest of the league is so ass this year that like we could be like really solid.
Dude,
But, I digress. My last question for you, Dobes, before we move on to like other games to wrap out the Manchester United corner of this episode, which if you've been listening thus far, we're 35 minutes in. I appreciate you.
it's gonna be the highest viewership yet.
Yeah, we're off the charts, bro. This is what people come for, bro. Until we actually look at the analytics and it's like, 10 seconds in, we say, welcome to the Manchester United podcast. People immediately click off of
Look
it.
for the United fans.
Like, fuck. You can sign one position in January, just one.
Fuck.
Because I know that we are not a full team yet. We don't have all of our players yet. And you have some choices to make. Like you said a 9, you said a 6, you said wing backs. Could be another center back. What are you doing? One position that you feel like would make the biggest change in our squad right now.
For me, it's center midfielder or wing back.
Choose one. Don't sit on the fence.
I think the only reason I'm sitting on the fence is because I want to see Kobbie. Like, I want to see what he can do in that role, because I think it's like if we would have seen him in that role for the last, like, month, like, the Elliot Anderson and Baliba conversation is not real. You know what I mean? It's like, we need 1, we don't need 2. So, like, I think ultimately it is center midfielder, whether that ends up being Kobbie or somebody else, or Kobbie and somebody else, like, regardless, Casemiro's getting old, he could get injured at any time, you know what I mean? That's
Yep.
like, then we're relying on
That's also something that we haven't talked about at all. Like, he is beating the allegations on Father Time right now.
100%,
So, yeah.
100%, like, 100%, and to be honest, he probably needs a game rest with this red card anyway. It's like, hopefully we can make do.
Yeah.
But then again, it's like, I do think we need a wing back. It's like Delo has been better,
Yeah.
like, Ahmad has that right side locked down, in my opinion. He plays that role correctly. Urgu, who I thought I was, like, high on the end of last year, the summer,
Yeah.
even earlier this year, he hasn't necessarily panned out to be exactly what I thought we wanted to be. And I think, to be fair, again, young as shit, like,
Yeah. He's 20 years old.
continue to
Yeah.
develop, but, like, think the ultimate goal, right? It's like, you look at next year, we wanna be sitting in 3 competitions, 4 competitions. We need competition for places for wingback. It's like, wingback's another one of those to where it's like, we could use an Ahmad on the left-hand
Yeah.
side who can balance us out, attack like so. I'd still say, to make a long-winded answer short, it's like center midfielder 100%, but, like, wingback for me is
Just as
shortly after
important.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm probably in the same boat. Yeah, I just think that we have a midfield size hole that's like pretty apparent.
Like, we need, in my opinion, we need a somebody that in a game like that today, you go up a goal. It's like, again, we're gonna go back to the cheesy term that I've said all the time, that I hate that Taylor Twellman said, that I said it again. It's like, we need a metronome. You know what I mean?
Yeah, bro.
Put your foot on the ball.
Can we get Vitinha?
Seriously, but it's like, put your foot on the ball, kill 5 minutes of the game with possession. You know what I mean? Just, like, slow the game down, take it from end to end. Don't allow Bournemouth and Semenyo to hit us on the counter, which is, like, where we were stretched. Casemiro's not that player. Bruno Fernandes will never be that player. I don't think that Kobbie Mainoo is that player either. Like, we need somebody that can be in that role that just takes the air out of the game and can just pulse goals, just ding. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, 1, 2
Almost
times.
a rogue shout here for Danny Ceballos over at Real Madrid. He could come in off the bench, play that role nicely. Wouldn't be too big of a signing. Could be the move.
Like,
But
that's what I think. Adam Wharton, great at that. Like,
yeah.
you know
It's
what I
like
mean? Just put your foot on the ball, play
we
it back to Lenny Euro, play it back to him, switch the field, get it again, switch the field.
yeah. I do believe in January that we'll sign someone and maybe someone's.
Yeah.
We might sign 1 or 2 players in January because we need it. But even if we do, we're so far away from having like a complete squad, especially when you bring up the 3 competitions thing. Because when you look at some of the, like Delo, for example, Delo coming off the bench to like give Ahmad rest at the end of the game whenever we're up goals, I'm cool with that. Like, he's not going to be the same like output on a winger. Dorgu coming on towards the end of the game, like to give whoever on the left side rest, I'm cool with that. But when you have to start playing those guys like week in and week out, and especially Casemiro goes down, you're looking at Ugarte as like that
Yeah.
destroyer, quote unquote. Like, bad news bears. That's not what we want to see.
Yeah.
So I'm still signing a midfielder first. Left wing back pretty soon after that, but
if we're where we are right now in the table come January 1, it's like, we're also in a position, just based off of what we have to spend, to beat teams, to players that will also
yeah,
be there in
totally,
the summer,
totally,
right?
yeah.
But it's also like, we're probably 1 or 2 signings away from that 5th spot, which is probably gonna be a Champions League spot in the Prem, or the 4th spot, is 1 to 2 signings away from being like, "Let's go actually take it and win it."
And I think that's where you're going to see Ineos. Like, do they have the balls to go out there and do it? Like, we're
We gotta
that close.
we have to be in a decent position come January 1 after this festive
Yeah.
period without those 2 specific. We haven't really even seen a Mazraoui a ton this year yet, but without Mbeumo and Ahmad, if we can stay afloat, stay right where we're at in the table, maybe move up, down, or up 1 or down 1, and then get those 2 back, it's like, then let's go for it for the second half of the season.
Totally. Yeah. Believe it or not, Manchester United wasn't the only team that played this game week. Quickly,
Spurs.
quickly running through some results here and just quick commentary on it. I'll take Chelsea. I think you watched Liverpool. I'll take Chelsea. Chelsea looked great. Cole Palmer back into the starting 11. You got to see him back onto the score sheet with a really, really well taken goal. But for me, you don't need to talk about anyone in this game other than Malo Gusto. Guy was he was incredible. He was so good. And I'm like rarely ever watching Chelsea from a tactical perspective and a tactical breakdown, but something that Chelsea definitely possesses that we don't, and I don't think many other teams do, is they still kind of ride with that inverted wingback thing a little bit. So like for a large majority of the game, you looked at their two most central players were Reece James and Malo Gusto. Now, Reece James actually started in one of those positions, but knowing that Gusto can go in there at any time and he doesn't look out of place is really nice to see. And he's making those runs in from deep to go past the 9 as well. He was the man of the match for sure. Cole Palmer will take some time to get back all the way up to his best, but he's a classy lad. It's taken him long enough to score this season. I don't know if he's actually had any goals other than this one, but taking it like he always does, or at least the Cole Palmer of front half of last year. What did you see in the Liverpool Ekitike goal fest?
I'm just gonna keep saying it. It's like, and again, it always sounds like banter. We're talking about Liverpool, but it's like Ekitike, in my opinion, is just again the no preseason came in late, like for with his Isak. Dude, Ekitike is a dog, and
He's a dog. He's so good.
I genuinely think it's like nobody could have expected what he was going to come do. And who was it? Flan that said nobody wanted him. It was like, brother, I said Sean and I were going back and forth. It's like, dude, he had like 25 goals last year.
Yeah.
Competition. A more proper Liverpool performance that I think we've seen. Salah came on and, to be honest, like looked, I think, a little bit brighter and sharper than he had in most recent weeks. Whether that was just a reaction strictly from
It's probably the
like,
most embarrassing thing I've ever seen.
yeah, and to be honest, it's like I've talked enough shit on Mo Salah. And to be honest, he's not even worth the breath to continue to talk. Like he's just not. But like he was better, and Liverpool got themselves back on track a little bit. Ekitike deserved both goals deserved. Like Brighton's a solid team that causes everybody problems. Like just job done. I will say that I still think Liverpool are gettable. Like I still think they can see. Like I still think they'll concede too many goals. Their back four is still a little bit weak, but a better performance from Liverpool all around. And it's like Ekitike, I think he's got 7 or 8 goals now this year. It's where he's your number 9, leave him as your number 9 until Isak gives you a reason to not.
I think that is the perfect way to go about it. If I were Arne Slot, I'd be doing the same thing. I'd say, Isak, you have to go and earn it some other way. You'll get the obvious rotation because of Champions League, FA Cup, all of that stuff. But like, yeah. Arsenal narrowly escaped Wolves. This was a terrible, terrible watch. It was just really bad. Arsenal looked really not good. If Lucas was here, he'd be the first one to admit that playing against a low block is really difficult, really frustrating. All of those things can be true.
I will never take that excuse ever. Why? Because it's like,
Duh.
you're gonna play a low block when
Yeah,
you're
you got to figure it out.
a team that hasn't won this year. What the
Yep.
fuck do you think they're gonna do? Like,
And
Mikel is take a light bulb and say, "Hey, I know they're gonna play a low block. How do we beat it?" Like,
yeah, and like I thought that the 90th minute tying it up I thought that was going to be the thing. And also, I think that this is a funny game just because I want to make sure I'm not like. So they did officially get 2 shots on goal. Arsenal didn't score a goal this entire game, by the way. We have 2 own goals and then one of the Wolves' goals. So like Arsenal didn't score in this game. They don't have any representation on this podcast. I'd be nervous if I were them. Like City's looking really good. They're kind of finding that midseason form that we've come to expect of City in the past. Arsenal just don't look up for it sometimes.
I think that Pep Guardiola is in position A. I think
totally
he's in where he wants to be. Every ounce of pressure to win the Premier League this year is on Arsenal, is on Mikel Arteta.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Arsenal may have a deeper team in terms of you go player for player all over the field. Like, I think depth-wise, Arsenal may have a deeper team. When it comes to who do I trust to close in the end to go win a Prem,
Yeah.
it's Pep Guardiola.
Yep.
Like, it just is. And I know I was with Griff last night, and he was like, well, if you watch the City game against Crystal Palace should have scored 3. And I'm just like, they did it.
Yeah,
Like,
and
w
also City
like
scored 3.
yeah, like, and City should have scored more, so when I watch Arsenal, it's like and I mean this is of course, I do mean partly banter, but it's like they don't right now look like a team that has the balls to take the scruff of the Premier League and go win it. Like, if they were to win it right now, it was like City drops points, everybody around them drops points. Like, I think that there's gonna come a time where City and they might be hitting their stride right now to where it's like it could come January, and if Arsenal doesn't get their act together, City could be 5, 7 points clear because I think they're capable of rattling off win after win, let alone Ryan Cherky, who credit myself
Yeah,
again.
I was gonna say ball
I
knower
said
over
was
there.
gonna be 10 times the player that Wirtz is, and he is unbelievable.
Dude, I'm seeing that Cental account say calling Wirtz COVID-19 right now,
But yeah,
which is
it's
so funny.
like I do. I think Arsenal should be nervous. I think they should be scared. To be honest, I think it's genuinely just of City. I don't think anybody else is in like challenging as close
Yeah.
as Villa is.
Yeah, totally.
I think
Totally.
City is scary.
Yeah, yeah, scary. They, as you said, they beat Palace 3-0. Another 2 goals for Holland, Mr. Inevitable at this moment. Phil Foden still finding his form. Did you get to tune into Tottenham Forest at all? 3-0.
Enjoyed it.
Say more, because what did Hoover send us? He sent us like what highlights from the 2019 just Champions League final.
Yeah, it's yeah, like
It's bad.
whatever. I don't know what to make of Spurs and like Sean Dyche has his team being difficult to play down, and it's like when you look at some of the players that they have going forward, like they do have a couple match winners, electric players that make you nerve. I mean, look at our game against them as well when we drew. Like they have those type of players to do that to you. But like I never know what I'm gonna get from Tottenham on any given day. Like I know Hoover complains a ton about the different formations and the players that are playing and the way that they're playing. So I'd be very, very frustrated if I was Hoove just in terms of what's going on right now. But at the same time, it's like I watched that game and it's like that result was deserved. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like
totally.
it was 100% deserved. And it's like Hudson Adoy's electric, like Sangare, solid finish. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
solid finish to where it's like they 100% deserve to win. It's like I don't know where you turned if you're Spurs. Yes, you're missing Madison. Yes, you're missing some key pieces, but at the same time,
Hmm.
it's like we've been saying this about Amram. It's like find a way to put it together and get results or
Totally.
be competitive in a game. And you just don't know what you're getting from Spurs right now. And they
I
play
don't,
who next? They play Liverpool next? Yeah.
yeah, I don't know what to make of them either. And the other thing that I think will be really interesting is how they move in January. And the reason I say that is it's not Daniel Levy anymore, you know? So it's like kind of gone are the days that Spurs just aren't going to spend money on people. Like you obviously saw them go at Cole Malani, they saw Javi Simmons, they spent some money on some guys. Kudos. I wouldn't be surprised if they go and do some business in January, and they definitely need depth. Like they definitely need it.
Well, if
But
it's like
like
if you look at their injury list, it's like I don't have it pulled up. I probably could, but it's like I know it's like Decky, like
James
Solaki
Madison,
hasn't played,
yeah,
Matters, like who else hasn't played? Like Udogi.
yeah. I just don't think that like those guys come in and they're a completely different team. Like
I think there's one or two of like Madison Madison game changer, like
Decky,
Solaki just like I'm not saying he's a world beater, but he's something different than Richie. You know what I mean? It's like
the thing with Spurs for me is that like I think you could go bar for bar Spurs and Manchester United and in terms of overall squads, who's in a better position. Because what United has that I do not believe Spurs has, I believe that United does have guys who could potentially be stars. And I say potentially because they're not always that. Like, of course, Bruno Fernandes is Bruno Fernandes. Spurs does not have a Bruno Fernandes. But like United also has Cunha and Bumo. Both of those guys have the potential to be true stars in this league. What Tottenham has that United does not have is I feel like Tottenham has a better squad where like when certain guys come off the bench, I'm like, they could probably do a job. Whereas like when United makes subs, I don't feel that way. So like any rotation of their midfield, whether it's Bergvall, Benton Kerr, Decky when he's in, Madison when he's in, Archie Gray when he comes on, any one of those guys, I'd be like, I would feel pretty solid if they were coming off the bench for Manchester United. But none of those guys, in my opinion, are going to be the guy that's going to like go in
Yeah,
win
I
the game
agree.
by himself. So like it's a really interesting thing where it's like Spurs are probably also a couple of transfer windows off. It's just going to be a matter of if the new ownership or if the current ownership, I don't even think it's new, but if the current ownership minus Levy is ambitious enough to go do the same thing. And granted, you have to have the right guy pulling the strings. I do not believe that Thomas Frank has proven to me, a non-Spurs fan. I know if Hoover were sitting here, he would definitely say he's
Yeah,
not
it's
convinced, but
he
I'm not convinced watching him play. So I think we've said this in years past, and I think it's been a little bit more obvious because of how far gone the league is. But like, I think that there's a major delta between teams like City and Arsenal in terms of overall squad quality
Yep, I
versus
agree.
teams like us and Tottenham. Chelsea is some weird mix of that, except defensively, like their center
Like,
backs are all
I could go
ass.
on a rant about them, it's just not like the money they spent.
They should have a better team for what they
Yeah,
have.
I just
Yeah.
mean, yeah, like, they should be competing for
Yeah.
not to say
I
that they may not go on a run here at the end of the like, towards the end of the year and beat it, but, like,
dude,
I would expect to have spent that money and to have, like, an Erling Haaland level player
totally.
playing as my 9 versus, like, a João Pedro who was, like, overly solid at Brighton.
Yeah. Yeah, I laugh at some of the like figures that they spent on players versus the production that they're seeing. Like Gittins, for example, was what 65 million. And don't get me wrong, he scored a couple of goals over this season in Champions League or whatever it is. But like 65 mil for that is like not what it is, or
Combine that with, like, what they pay for Garnacho was it for like 50?
45, 50, whatever it was. It's
What?
astronomical. Yeah, it's crazy. Liam Delap, same way. Of course,
Well,
he
it's
got the shoulder
I
injury, but
always say this, and it's like, we're not like, we don't need to go down a Chelsea rabbit hole here of, like, dogging on him, but it's like, you spend that money on 2 players, Neto should not still be your best winger. If that
yes.
if that makes
Yeah.
sense, like, Neto is, in my opinion, their best winger right now. When you spend 110 or 105, whatever you wanna do, euros or dollars, whatever it is, that amount of money, you should have another like, a new best winger, in my opinion, at least to go challenge for
Yeah.
things. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes me laugh of like who's in their scouting department. Like they're willing to spend the money. So like if you're willing to
I
spend the
think
money, like
Sadio's
it's
gonna
just
be a dog too, but he's just young. Like, he's not
yeah.
gonna go win you the Prem right now.
No, no, he's not. The other thing, and we can kind of end with this, just an interesting piece of news. David Ornstein came out today before the United game, and I guess Enzo Maresca came out with a statement saying that the last 48 at the club have been the worst 48 hours since he's been at the club, which I thought was really interesting. I don't and that was as specific as he chose to be with it. Reporters asked like, could you expand further on what you mean by that? And his answer was just no.
I can I don't wanna listen to this interview right now, but it's like,
It's so interesting. So it's 3 minutes of David Ornstein just saying like, yeah, and he has speculation that maybe it's something to do with that Maresca doesn't believe in like the talent identification as well as the where the club is going from a direction standpoint of maybe that means recruitment, maybe that means whatever. But Ornstein also said it might be something having to do with like contract negotiation or something like that. Because keep in mind, like Maresca is
they
only
cut everybody. They're still fucking fabs. They signed somebody like 4 days ago.
well, right, yeah, but like Maresca, I feel like, has done a pretty solid job in that job. Like, he came in, mind you, in the biggest shit show Chelsea has had in a long time. He came in, he settled the ship a little bit, and got thrown into an extremely difficult situation managing a roster of 86 players. Really difficult. He made some difficult calls early on, but I don't know what that means. And I don't know if any Chelsea fan really knows what that means. Just interesting. So watch this space. We'll see what happens come January 1. Closing thoughts, Dobes.
Overall, the league has more parity.
Mm.
Like, I think that's just
We
a
didn't even mention Sunderland. Sunderland,
yeah,
bro.
yeah,
1 nothing against Newcastle.
like, unreal result, one of the best promoted sides I think we've seen in a long
Yes.
time, but, like, I was looking at the table before we hopped on here, and it's like, what, there's 4 teams tied at 26 points right now. You know, we're 2 behind Chelsea, who I don't necessarily think you can say is a lock for top 4. Aston Villa's flying right now, but if you were a betting man, would you say that they were gonna stay at, like, at this rate? Like, no. You know what I mean? Like, I think the only, like, real 2 top 2 is Man City and Arsenal, to where it's like both have had blips this year to where is there gonna be, you know what I mean? So it's I feel like from
5th through 16th. Is that right? No, 4th through 16th is 10 points.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
10.
So it's like I feel like, and we have these draws like today where it's like we act like the selfish United fans from 10 years ago who we should be beating every single one of these teams. And in order for us to compete, we should be. But at the same time, like the gap, in my opinion, between this year alone, between the big six, it's like it shrunk to where on any given day, like I wouldn't be surprised to see Liverpool go out and lose to, I don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fulham.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or us lose to Fulham or, Chelsea tie. You know what I mean? It's like there's not a lot that's been surprising this year when it comes to results. Like that gap between, like you said, 16 to what, fourth is going to just fluctuate, which I feel like we don't see a lot. I feel like we see always like by Christmas it comes right, and maybe we see that to where it's like 5 or 6 teams kind of separate them, maybe 7 between fighting for top 4. You know what I mean? To where right now, like you could flip a coin for who the top 4 is going to be, in my opinion, with the consistency and how teams have played. So, which
Percent.
is fun. It's fun.
Yeah. That does it for us. From Dobes and me, thanks for sticking with us through this episode.
Got a corner, baby.
United Corner, we're back better than ever, But check us out on TikTok, on Instagram, Twitter. We're firing. If you are a St. Louis City listener, what the fuck are we doing with our head coaching situation? Nobody knows. Nobody's got a damn clue. Well, I think we're entirely cooked. Chat City Tactics, we messaged him the other day saying, like, are we cooked for next year? And he basically was like, in the MLS, it's so hard to be cooked because, like, it's just 1 or 2 signings can change the trajectory of a club. And he's like, but we're kind of cooked, which just gives us a lot of confidence. But anyway, we'll catch you next week. We'll always be back with the banter, and maybe we'll have a couple more hosts on next week.
Cheers, brother.
Yeah, cheers, bro.
As always.